Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at equations and inequalities, quadratic equations in one unknown. So we started this off yesterday towards the end of the lesson, and that was yesterday we've looked at the last year's cycle test, no? Control test, okay? To see exactly what was tested last year, okay? And it should refresh your memory in terms of sections that you haven't practiced over the past couple of days. Okay, so I'm just going to start off our, which page is this on? This is on page, thank you, no? 79. Page 79. It's the examples on page 79. So yesterday we read through this. Let's explain this again. We read through this that the quadratic. I think we must first do the example. Maybe then it will make more sense. If you got A times B and it's equal to 0. So we said yesterday, if A was 6, then what must B be for the statement to be true? It had to be 0. If A was negative 2, then what must B be to make the statement true? 0. If A was x minus 2y squared to the power of 5, what must B be to give an answer of 0? 0. So it's either B has to be equal to 0. However, if B was 5, then what should A have been? 0. If B was negative 6, what should A have been? 0. If B was 2x minus 1 cubed, what must A be for this statement to be true? 0. So it's either A is equal to 0 or B has to be equal to 0. And this is called the zero factor rule. If one of the factors is 0, then the statement will be true. You guys understand? So going back to the introduction to the section, we are told that a quadratic equation is a polynomial equation with the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That is called the standard form. Okay? Where a, b and c are elements of integers. But now it will be like positive, negative, all numbers then. To solve these equations, we use the fact that if the product of two or more factors is 0, at least one of the factors must be 0. So if a times b is equal to 0, then a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0. If a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0, then a times b will be 0. If a over b is equal to 0, then a is equal to 0, b is not equal to 0. Why can't b be 0? So the sum will be undefined. That's all. Before I go into this, did you have homework yesterday? So we haven't marked, we have nothing that must be marked still. No? Okay. So let's go on to this here. So in the examples on page 79 we're going to do. So if we have a plus 1 and x minus 2. You all agree that that sum is already factorized. And it's already in factor form. Not so? So, what can we say here? Applying what we have just spoken about, we can say that x plus 1 is equal to 0 or x minus 2 is equal to 0. One of those two has to be 0. Not so? So if we solve for x, we take that over the equal sign. So x is equal to negative 1 or x equal to. Alright. Yes, Michael. Sorry? Yeah, either one of it can be 0 or both can be 0. Because if you got A times B, if A is 0 and B is 0, then of course it's 0 as well. But the least it can be, the minimum it can be, is 1 over 2BC. You understand? Any other confusion there? Let's look at the next one. This is out of the classroom mathematics textbook, grade 10. Huh? Example 2 on page 79. People, is this factorized for us already? No. So the first thing is, you must get it in standard form. Get the equation in standard form. And what is standard form? Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, so that's step number 1. Write the equation in standard form or get the equation in standard form. So you bring that over the equal sign, so you get x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now what do we do? Factorize. So factorize our favorite trinomials. So you factorize it into what? So then this next step was to factorize. It goes 1, 1, 1, 8, 2, 4. We add or subtract our products. Subtract. So 4 minus 2 is 2. So it's a 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 4. A 1 and a 2, a 1 and a 4. There's x squared, so it's x and an x. There's minus, so the bigger one must be minus. So x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 2, or x equal to. So anybody that's confused? You will understand, eh? Example 3 on page 79. Can I say 2x minus 1 is equal to minus 2? And, or x plus 2 is equal to minus, can we do that? No. It can only be equal to 0. Then it works. So what's the first thing we need to do? Get it in standard form. And how do we do that? Get rid of the brackets, multiply, and bring the negative 2 over the equals. Okay? So do that quickly. Okay? So let's multiply out here. What do we get? 2x squared plus 4x minus x minus 2 is equal to negative. So I can bring this over the equal sign. It would have been b plus 2. Not so So what do we have now? 2x squared plus 3x, and that cancels. Okay, so we got it in standard form. Now what do we do? What do you do now? Huh? Look there, what was the next step I gave you? Now factor that. So you got x as a common factor. So what are we left with? 2x plus equals 0. Now what? Okay, so x is equal to 0 or 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. Sound so? Now looking at the first factor here, okay, is there anything we need to do here to solve it? No. We take 3 over, it becomes 2x is equal to minus 3. Divided by 2 both sides. So x is equal to minus 3 over 2. And we can check if this is correct, people. Look here. What if x is equal to, what if x is equal to negative 1? Then we got negative 1, and we ever see x up to negative 1. Negative 1 plus x into negative 1 minus 2 equals 0. So that's going to be 0 times negative 3. What's 0 times negative 3? Can you see that? If I had put in 2 in there, so it will be 2 plus 1, 2 minus 2. What's 2 plus 1? 3. 2 minus 2, 0. 3 times 0, 0. You see that, people? We look here. We say x is minus 2. So in the left hand side of the equal side, we have minus 2 squared, which is 4. Can you see that? We put minus 2 on the right hand side. It's going to be 2 into minus 2 plus 8. Minus 2 times 2 is negative 4 plus 8 is 4, which is equal to the right hand side. Can you see that? Otherwise, if I put minus 2 in this point here, then I will get 0 up in here. You guys understand? If I put 4 in here, what's 4 squared? 16. 2 times 4 is negative 8 minus 8. 16 minus 8 is 8, and 8 minus 8 is 0. The equation balances. You guys understand? So that's a way of checking. And likewise here, you could have checked that one as well. Okay. Let's look at the next one. The example on pages 80, 78, sorry. What was that? 79. Yeah, 80. So what's the first thing we're going to do here? Sorry? LCM. Get rid of the LCM. Not so. So get rid of the LCM. The denominator. What's your LCM here? X. Okay. So my LCM is x. What's the restriction here? X can never be equal to 0. So if x works out to be 0, then the sum will be undefined. Not so. And if part of the sum is undefined, the whole sum is undefined. So you're going to multiply it throughout by x. So what is this denominator shorting to get an x? X. So it's x into x. Minus 7. What is this denominator shorting? X. Equals 30 into. What's this denominator shorting? You all get that? Right? So what do we do now? Multiply. Okay, get rid of the brackets. So do that quickly. So what do we get? X squared minus 7x equals 30. Not so. We get over the equal sign to get it in standard form. We get minus 30. So what do I do now? Factorize. What goes on the line? 1 and 1. 1 and 30. 2 and 15. 3 and 5. 5 and 6. No. 3 and 10. 5 and 6. Do we add or subtract our products? We subtract them. So it's going to be 10 and 3. Not so. So it's a 1 and a 3, a 1 and a 10. X squared. So there goes an x and an x. What about our signs? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger product must be negative. You all get that? Any confusion here? So what can I say now? X plus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 10 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 3 or x equal to. Any confusion here? So what I'm going to do now is we're going to look at exercise 4.5. I want you guys to do the first column. This is your homework, the first column of number 1. And you're going to do for me number 3, A and B. Okay. If you have any problems, come to me now. Don't understand? Alright, so at this point you have indicated you're done with the first four. Okay, so the first one is nice. It's really straightforward. We're simply going to be saying x plus 2 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. So x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 5 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 2, or x is equal to 5. You all okay with that? B, C, you got x into 2x minus 1 is equal to 1. What needs to be done first? Multiply out, get rid of the brackets. Not so. So we're going to get 2x squared. X times negative 1 is negative x. Minus 1 is equal to 0. There we got it in standard form now. So we have a trinomial. What are the factors on the line? 1 and 2, 1 and 1. We add and subtract our products. Subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. So it's a 1 and a 1. Oh, 2 and a 1. So there's an x there. It's x squared, sorry. So they get x and x. Okay? Okay. What about our signs? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger product must be minus. That is the bigger product. That's 2x and that is x. So there goes the minus. Okay, so it's going to be minus plus. So what do we say? X minus 1 is equal to 0. They get over the equal sign, so x is equal to 1, or 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. They get over the equal sign, divided by 2, so x is equal to negative half. You all okay with that? Alright. Let's look at E. X squared minus 4 is equal to 0. What type of factorization can happen here? That's the difference between two squares. So it's going to be x plus 2. X minus 2 is equal to 0. Not so. So what do we do now? X plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 2, or x equal to 2. If you look at G, you got 3x squared minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Whatever factorization can occur here? Trinomial again. What goes on the line? 1 and 3. 3 and 1. For 8 is 1 and 8, 2 and 4. I don't have to write the 3 and 1 if the factors works. No? We add or subtract the products? Subtract. So that's going to be 8 minus 3 is 5. That's going to be 4 and 6. So my factors is 1 and a 2. A 3 and a 4. You all agree with that? The x squared, so you get x and an x. What about our signs? 1 plus 1 minus. The bigger one must take the sign of the middle term, which is minus. So that is a negative 6x plus 4. So the 6 is negative. If this had to be a positive, and then I would have put positively, not negative. Okay? So that is going to be minus plus. So I'd say now x minus 2 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Take 2 over the equal sign, so x is equal to 2. Here we take 4 over the equal sign, so it's 3x is equal to negative 4. Divided by 3 both sides, x is equal to negative 4 over 3. Okay? Any confusion here, people? Any questions? Are you done with I as well? Who's done with I? Okay, so I'll give it some time. Okay,
Morning, may I have your
I think we'll stop at this point, okay?
In Miss A, whom reach in Mr. Bodin's classroom now at first break. In Miss A.